Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to yet another session on the virtual Citrix Ready Partner Pavilion. Now, operating system is a key component of how we deliver apps and desktops to our customers. And with that in mind, we have a very cool partner today, Stratodesk, and I have my good friend Rich to talk us through how Citrix and Stratodesk are integrating together. So first up, Rich, welcome to the show. You want to tell our audience who you are and what you do at Stratodesk?
Absolutely. Well, hello, Rubel, and good to see you again. Thank you. So, yes, everybody, welcome to HIMSS 22. I'm Rich Severson, Vice President of Solutions Engineering at Stratodesk, and we're one of the companies that works with Citrix in respect to the Workspace app for Linux.
Awesome, that's great. Let's talk a little bit more about the Stratodesk OS, the Stratodesk solution. What is the range of solutions that you provide?
So, absolutely. Well, thank you. So, what we do at Stratodesk is an operating system that we build. It's a custom-built Linux operating system from the kernel up that allows us to integrate with VDI partners such as Citrix. It allows us to work directly with Citrix, receive the Linux Workspace app, integrate that into our operating system, and provide a management platform no-touch center that goes with no-touch OS, combined with the Citrix Workspace app, and allows us to provide a end-to-end solution for managing endpoints connecting to Citrix and delivering Citrix apps in Citrix Cloud.
Awesome. So when you say it's a Linux-based operating system, does it have to be dependent on a specific hardware, or if I have an old laptop or a thin client lying somewhere, can no-touch desktop help me reinvigorate those hardware devices?
Yeah, and thank you for asking that. I should have brought that up. So that is one of the advantages of Stratodesk, right? Because of the way that we build our operating system, it gives us the ability to be able to support multiple platforms. Those platforms being legacy x86 32-bit platforms, including repurposing the other thin clients, etc., legacy laptops, x64, so we can even support the latest and greatest hardware that's coming out, because that's been a challenge with people, because of the chip shortages and finding devices that they can actually use as viable endpoints. And then, of course, we're the company that worked with Citrix a few years back with the Raspberry Pi for the Citrix Workspace Hub. So, of course, we support Raspberry Pi, the ARM Jetson Nano, x86, x64 platforms, the whole gambit of hardware, I guess, if you will.
Awesome, that's great. And I personally believe that's a great use case, right? Because what it does is it becomes more environmental friendly. There are lots and lots of devices lying out there, which can be reinvigorated by such OS. So you did talk about how you integrate with the VDI side of things. Can you delve a little deeper into what that means for an end user?
Yeah. So what that means is that gives the system administrators obviously the ability to build an infrastructure to deliver desktops and apps out to the users. And actually this brings up one of the use cases that we're foreseeing as we kind of transition from a pandemic environment to an endemic environment, where people will start going back to the offices, and they're going to find that they've got hardware that has been sitting in the office for 2 years that may be substantially out of date. Because those devices are going to be running Win 7 that never got updated, or they're going to be running Win 10 that hasn't been updated in a while. And then now, of course, we now have Windows. We're going to have to make a determination. Do they replace that hardware at substantial cost, which, by the way, is probably still very viable hardware, right? So if you take something like Stratodesk, you can repurpose those hardwares, or again, we can put it on new hardware or other legacy hardware, repurpose that hardware running Stratodesk No-Touch OS, use the latest version of Workspace app because of our integration with Citrix. We have the ability to get those latest versions, and that will give the administrators the ability to deliver a VDI infrastructure right to the endpoint using the latest, up-to-date Linux OS, using the latest Citrix Workspace app, connecting to a fully managed VDI infrastructure as well. So we project that we're going to see some of that where, again, with the race to get out of the office, there's going to be a lot of hardware sitting there that's going to need to be reprovisioned.
Awesome, that's great. That's a great use case. Now, let's change gears a little bit. I want to understand, why should a healthcare organization care about the Citrix-Stratodesk combo?
So how we help healthcare, obviously with our partnerships with Citrix and likewise other partners such as Imprivata, we provide the ability to have the tap and goes. We have the ability to put an operating system that's high performance on the devices like the carts on wheels, so you can have portable devices. We have the flexibility to be able to have remote clinics. That's one of the things that we've done a lot with over the last couple of years. Because we developed a product called Cloud Extension, our Cloud Extension gives us the ability to manage endpoint devices for work from home, remote clinics, just as if those devices were inside the network. So between having devices that are multiple use cases, doctors, clinics, nurses station, carts on wheels, tap and go, all of those different use cases, and now then you add the work from home and or the remote workers and the ability to manage those with Cloud Extension, that gives the healthcare organization to have a seamless workflow across all those different use cases, and IT administrators the ability to manage all those devices in one umbrella. So I can manage devices that are inside the infrastructure, I can manage devices that are outside the infrastructure. So it truly provides a high performance desktop delivery to a VDI infrastructure across multiple use cases in healthcare.
Awesome, that's great. So what I'm hearing is, from an end user's perspective, what Stratodesk is trying to do or has achieved is really simplify their life in terms of their day-to-day operations, their day-to-day job. Now, you brought in a very interesting point about how you're helping IT admins as well. And I know a lot of our audience are, the IT folks. So let's delve a little bit deeper into how Stratodesk can help an IT admin's job simpler, easier, make it more secure. What is it that you're trying to do to help him?
So if I want to first make a comment about the end users real quick, because one of the things that I like to tell people is Stratodesk No Touch OS, right? If you think about it, it's a high-performing Linux, secure Linux OS that is locked down and delivers what the end users need, but it doesn't look and feel like Linux. And then you go to the IT administrator perspective of it, right? What we do there is, because of the ability to deliver those images or update those devices, whether it be, if you want to convert a device from Windows 10 or Windows 7 using Pixie or SCCM or some delivery tool, you can use those tools to push out Stratodesk No Touch OS onto the devices. And then because of the automation that's built into our tools, the simple automation, you can actually convert a device from another operating system to No Touch OS. You can then automatically reconfigure those devices based on different parameters, whether it be different locations, different names, different device types, and reprovision those use cases automatically on the fly. So it truly becomes hands-off deployable. So think about it, if you had a device that is inside the environment today, a laptop, let's say, and then I hand it to you and you take it home. Obviously, when you take it home, it's going to have a different network profile. We can have it set up so that when that different network profile checks into No Touch Center, it says, hey, you're now outside the environment. I'm going to reconfigure your Citrix connection to give you the external NetScaler URL instead of the internal NetScaler URL. So we can actually configure those devices on the fly. So what it does is it makes deployment adaptability easy. It makes centralized management of those endpoints easier because you can bring all those endpoints into one management platform. It gives IT administrators and IT directors, to your point, the ability to repurpose and reprovision legacy hardware, as well as be able to bring in new hardware. So instead of having multiple management platforms, you can actually have one management platform. We've also, for better or worse, we've also seen a lot of this where there may be legacy vendor thin clients that are out there that for whatever reason a vendor or customer wants to move to another platform. Now they end up having to have two different management platforms to do that. Well, with Stratodesk, because we're hardware agnostic, we can go on any hardware. You can actually put Stratodesk OS on any vendor platform and still have one management platform. So it makes delivery, manageability, and control and update and support and assistance of all those users from an IT perspective relatively easy.
Awesome. So what I'm hearing is easy deployment, easy management, ability to repurpose old devices. So all of this makes an IT admin's life really simple.
Ideally, awesome. That's the goal. Absolutely. And I think we do it really well.
Awesome. That's great. That's great, Rich. All right. My final question to you. I know there are several, companies operating in this space. How does Stratodesk differentiate?
Well, I think one of the things that's key to Stratodesk is we are an innovative company, right? So we do a lot of development work We build our own product, and again, being hardware agnostic allows us the flexibility to be able to do different things with the operating system. Obviously, we have direct, strong partnerships with the likes of Citrix. So when there are updates for like the Workspace app, we actually have a direct feed from Citrix, so we're able to update the Workspace app. Usually, I would say relatively quickly. Emmanuel wouldn't like me to commit, but I mean, I would say we probably have those updates for Workspace app within 72 hours, if not the first day. I mean, our goal is first day, and we usually do first day. But being a development company, you never want to 100% commit to how quickly things get done. But again, being an innovative, flexible company, we have the ability to deliver those updates very quickly. And what that does is that gives customers, and again, this is one of the unique things about Stratodesk, it gives customers and administrators the choice of what version of Workspace app they want to deploy. So you may have a healthcare or an organization that needs, for use case A, they need to use the absolute latest version of Workspace app. They need 2201. But for use case B or for a different work use case, they may need to still be able to use 2106. We give them the flexibility to be able to use different versions of Workspace app in the same environment if that's what they need to do.
Awesome. That's fantastic, Rich. And what you've done just now is now you've piqued interest among our audience about Stratodesk. Now, what's the next step? In case these guys want to find out more, or learn more about Stratodesk, where do you want to send them?
So certainly they can come see us in the booth. I will be here all week. But obviously there's our Citrix Partner Ready. You can find Stratodesk under the Citrix Partner Ready program. So you can go to stratodesk.com/HIMSS22.
Awesome. That's great, Rich. Thank you so much for taking the time to do this session with us. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much to you for taking time to view this session with us. So if you are at HIMSS show this week, we are at booth 5043. If not, keep tuning in to these virtual sessions. I'm signing off for now, but see you on the other side. Bye-bye.
Rebel, thank you again. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Rich. Have a good day.